Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. In this video today, we're going to talk about my diesel heater. I am getting an error code of E08. So we're going to take a look at this heater, try to fix it, and see if we can get it running. And there is a quick look at the error code, and when I push the power button and I try to start the unit, the fan will come on, it'll show the glow plug, it'll show the fan, it'll show everything, and then there will be air coming out of here. The air will get a little bit warm. The exhaust pipe right there will show like some white smoke and stuff like that. So I ran some oil in this unit, and I think that might be why we're having problems. So let's go ahead and get started. I will start off by disconnecting the power source, and I will come over here to the unit. I'm gonna lift this unit up and just disconnect this exhaust pipe. It's not even clamped on, so now I can move this unit around and work on it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start by taking off all of these screws, the 16 screws. We're going to take all of these screws out. So I think that error code means that the unit is not firing. And there's a few things that I know of that we can look at to hopefully fix that problem. So this cap is going to come off for just a quick second, and I am going to pull off this housing, and I'll put the cap back on. We're going to need to take this unit out. Probably going to get a little bit interesting. It might get fun. So I set that tank out there. There's four of them actually, little nuts right here on the bottom. So we're going to just take those off. Okay, from here we're going to take this flathead screwdriver and we're just going to loosen this clamp so that we can pull this fuel tube off, and then we should be able to pull out the unit. There we go. Okay, I believe we're close to getting this unit out. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and spin this collar off. And then we're also gonna disconnect these wires right here. There we go. So now we have the unit completely out of the box and everything. So now we can start really working on this. I'm gonna take this top portion out. And right there is our glow plug. And we're gonna pull this up. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the guts right on out of this case. So there's what that unit looks like. Now I do have a couple special tools. One of them is for taking out the glow plug, and the other one is for that little screen, which I might need to fix. I don't know. We don't really know what we're going to get into yet. So just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and pull that glow plug out though. So let's go ahead and pull this little rubber grommet. Be careful with these wires on the glow plug. Just pull that grommet out of the way. Okay, right here, this is the connection that we need to disconnect from the circuit board. This is the connection for the glow plug. That's those those two wires right there. We're just going to get those kind of out of the way, and that'll give me the ability to take the glow plug out. There we go. Shouldn't take much. There, we're already loose on that glow plug. We're already spinning, so that thing should come right out. In fact, I'm kind of surprised at how easy that came out. And the glow plug, I'm looking at it, it doesn't look dirty or anything, so the glow plug doesn't look bad. We'll just set that aside over here. And I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take this off and take this circuit board and disconnect some of these wires and stuff so that it's a little easier to take this thing apart. I want to look inside the unit and see if there's anything blocked or anything like that. So let's pull that out. There we go. So now let's go ahead and disconnect this one. And these are different size. This is a 4-pin and this is a 3-pin, so no big deal. And this one is also a 3-pin, so we want to make sure that this fan goes to the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put an F right here. F for fan and S for sensor. That's this guy. So now I know where my fan and my sensor is. And this one here is for the glow plug. So let's just make a G right there. I know this is kind of crude, but I'm able to label and keep things kind of where they need to be. Now we need to get an Allen wrench and take these 4 bolts out. Okay, so this is a 4mm Allen. So now let's see if we can separate this, which, wow, that was pretty easy. This fan is spinning freely. No problems there. So we'll set that aside. Now we have the inner chamber. We have 4 more screws. We'll go ahead and pop those loose and take those out too. The 4 machine bolts from the inside. You can see they're about half as long, so just remember that the shorter ones go to the inside and the longer ones go to the outside. And I'm going to just very carefully work this gasket off. That's all we need, just enough to get this off. So we'll lift this up and out, and we can now look inside of the burn chamber. Let's get a flashlight and we want to take a look inside of there. Look at that. Wow, what a mess. That's from burning oil, folks. So it's not too bad actually inside of there. The exhaust, we have light coming through, so there's no problem there. But what I'm noticing is right down in there, look at all that junk inside of there. Hopefully you can see that in the video there. Look at all that mess. We're just going to clean that out. We're also going to look inside right in this hole. There's that little screen in there, and we're going to try to pull that screen out hopefully and maybe clean it. Also want to make sure that this hole right here is clear. You see light through there. So sometimes I've seen these holes will get clogged and it won't let air in. So that's not clogged in our case. So, and the screen actually looks okay from what I can see here, but it's all that mess inside of there that we need to clean out. That's terrible. So that explains why it didn't want to fire up right. These air vents here, they have to be free. and allow airflow to go through there. And if they can't, because it's clogged down there, we're gonna have some problems. Look at all that junk coming out of there. Okay, I have a little piece of copper wire and I bent a little hook on the end of it, and hopefully this will reach in and grab that screen. There we go. We were able to get that screen out. It actually doesn't look bad. I'll spray that thing down with some carb cleaner. I'm gonna shoot some brake cleaner up in there. As far in as you can see, there's those little fins around that. What I did was I had a little round file that's been kind of sharpened on one end, and I was just sticking it in there, just kind of physically moving some of that stuff around, breaking up the clumps and stuff, and looks like it did pretty good. Okay, I got a little weed tool. Oh yeah, look at that. That's getting in there. I'm feeling it. It's catching on all kinds of junk. Look at that stuff coming out of there. Yeah, this is working pretty good. So this is getting all that stuff on the outer diameter. Yeah, look at that. That stuff's nasty. So we're going to take this little screen and just spray some brake cleaner through it. It's not bad. This screen is actually in pretty good shape. So you just put the screen on this little tool, and then that allows you to just push that baby back in. No problem. The main thing about the screen is you want it to go in past this hole here. So that's what that tool does. It allows that screen to go in past where that hole is. So we're good there. And on this final inspection, everything is very clean. So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this thing. I'm not going to drag you guys through reassembly. It's just the opposite of what I did to take it apart. I'm going to put it all back together, and then we'll get it fired up and see what happens. That was real simple. It was just those 8 bolts. So from here, we're going to go ahead and get our glow plug put back in. We're going to make sure that everything is real clean on the glow plug. And we have our little glow plug tool, which just goes around those wires. Something like so. That'll work to put the glow plug in. We'll just insert it right inside of that little part and thread this thing in. I was surprised when I took this apart. The glow plug, it seemed like it was loose when I first took this thing apart. So I'm gonna snug this thing up a little bit. There we go. And that's all we have to do there with that glow plug. So I'll put this tool back with these other parts that I have. I have a replacement, a glow plug, that stainless steel mesh, and that tool. So I'll just put that with that. Now we'll put this little rubber grommet back over the hole. Just kind of pop that thing down in there, and that seals up real nice. And now from here, we can take our circuit board. We got to make our connections. Remember, fan, sensor, and glow plug. So the fan is going to go there, the sensor is going to go there, and the glow plug comes around and goes here. Just like that. We'll clip that in. And let's just make sure everything looks good. And we'll set this thing down. It shouldn't take long. Boom. Now we have one screw that holds that on. I'm gonna put this on. Don't want to over tighten it. There we go. That's all it needs. Just that little connection right there. So we'll make sure that all these wires are kind of clean. They're routed real nice. Nothing's going to conflict with any movement or anything like that. So now we can put this right back in this housing, just like so. And what's important here is when we get this thing put back in, we want to make sure that this piece right here is not sandwiched incorrectly. It looks like when they assembled this, they didn't have this right. So we'll set that in there like that. Make sure this fan can spin freely. Put this back on here. We are very close to getting this thing back up and running. Now that's correct. Let's put this thread, let's make sure we're spinning good, which we are. Thread this back on. That just kind of holds everything together. We're going to have to put this on, just like so. Put our little rubber boot on there. Make our connection. And this only goes one way. It's a keyed fitting, so it's not a monkey could do it in his sleep. It's not very hard to put that in. Pop this up on its side, and then remember we had those 4 little nuts that need to go on there to hold that together. I'll just get them all kind of started, and then we'll tighten them all in one whack. We have the fuel line, of course, as you can see. We'll do that last. And this unit wasn't very hard to work on at all. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward unit. Nothing super hard about it. We will connect our fuel line. Remember, we had a flathead screw there on that clamp. That looks good. Fuel line is there. We got the intake, and then we have the exhaust. So it's just a matter of putting it back in the housing at this point. Put the fuel tank back in there. Route the wires so that everything's where it needs to be. Fuel tank goes back in. Looks like we're almost there, folks. Put this cover back on the outside. There we go. Make sure we're on the outside of everything. Get back to our Phillips bit. And I don't want these super tight. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and reconnect our positive and negative wires. Make sure that you're getting the right ones, that the orientation is correct. So we'll screw this bad boy down, and now we'll take it on over, connect it to the battery here. We'll spin this bad boy around, set it there, but before we connect to the battery, I want to get the muffler put back on. And I'm going to open the door so that the unit can exhaust out the door. Remember, the exhaust is this one here. So we'll set that bad boy down. That is how I like to have it. Something like that. Open the door because we're going to fire it up. Let's connect our positive and our negative. There's the negative, there's the positive. And now we will fire this bad boy up and see what happens. Okay, here's the moment of truth. We have H3. Let's put it up to 6, which will be the hottest setting. You can see the glow plug is illuminated, and I've got the door open and the exhaust so you can see the exhaust. So you see fan, battery, and glow plug. And I'm starting to see a tiny bit of smoke out of the exhaust. That's normal. So right now the glow plug's heating up, and it should be starting to produce some heat. In the meantime, while that is doing its thing, I'm going to clean this desk a little bit and look at some of that junk that was in there. That's just some of the junk that I had left on that board. That's crazy. That is nasty. Now you can hear the fuel pump clicking. Hopefully this thing will fire up. I'm not getting any heat yet, but this thing takes a little bit of time to get going. It sounds like it's burning. The exhaust is hot. I use that toothpick as a fuel indicator sometimes. Fan is running good, and this metal part is warming up, so that's telling me I got some fire inside. The exhaust, that's to be expected because I just got done running carb cleaner and brake cleaner and all kinds of junk through it. So hopefully it'll fire up real nice. Looking like it's doing good so far. It's actually putting out a little heat. The glow plug turned off. I think that'll clear up once it runs a bit. I had it torn apart. Yeah, this heat's coming out. It's really nice. I wasn't getting this kind of heat before. Oh yeah, that thing is hot. I have a fan up above that blows air out of the shop. Sometimes I turn that fan on and it takes the fumes and stuff out. Yeah, this thing's definitely putting out heat. It's working good. Okay, let's take a reading. 339 degrees, 342. Wow, 323 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're up to 12 degrees centigrade inside the room. So that thing is definitely working. Wow, it's working really good. And you notice that the exhaust is starting to clear up. As this thing's ran a little bit, it's clearing up. So I'm really happy about that. Everything's working good. There you can see the air bubbles going through the fuel line, which is perfectly normal. I'm actually happy that we're seeing that. And now it's 13 degrees centigrade in the room. That is absolutely fantastic. And that's pretty impressive considering the door is still wide open. And the exhaust has cleared up. It ain't really dirty anymore. That's a good sign. Well, folks, it looks like we are back in business. This was not hard to fix at all. I hope that this video helped you out. All it was just a matter of cleaning that inner chamber out. Hopefully this video helped you. Please feel free to leave comments down below, like this video, share this video, and until next time, again, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.